Please introduce yourself and share what it is about the Sioux City community and Sioux City Community School District that led you to apply for this position.
Good afternoon, Geovanny Ponce. I was born in Tegucigalpa, Honduras, and I moved to Houston in 1998 to learn English. So please make sure that if you don't understand, you can ask me. I started teaching in a middle school. Then I have been in various positions in education. Has been a bilingual teacher, substitute teacher, has been also middle school principal, high school principal, and then East Area superintendent, and lately I am assistant superintendent of high schools in Houston Independent School District. I have 52 schools and about 57,000 children in my area. And what is so attractive to me, so Sioux City. When I was looking for Sioux City, and because at the beginning I didn't know how diverse this district was. It was really shocking when I was looking at the numbers. And in Iowa, probably you are one of the most diverse areas. And I want to be part of it. And I know that you are embracing change. And I want to be part of that as well. And I was looking at the necessity and how children can achieve, and we work all together. So I want to bring that experience to Sioux City. What I have learned in one of the largest districts in the United States, Houston, I want to bring that knowledge as well here and be part of that community. I really want that. Also, I see that you embrace diversity, and I am part of that. I'm totally different probably than some other candidates that you have seen from another country and with other language and all of that. And I see that you embrace it. And so I want to be part of that. I want to be part of this community.
How will you address serving all students in an equitable manner?
So, number one is by knowing them, by walking the different communities. When I say communities, the different schools, the feeding patterns, and making sure that I have a first understanding by talking, number one, with the principals, teachers, and students, and parents as well. So that would be something that I have in my agenda to make sure that everybody is included in the conversation, what is needed, because I see some data already, but those are just numbers, okay? I need to collect different kind of data, that qualitative, what's going on in the different schools, what needs, what are the children need, what are the teachers need, what are the principals need, the parents. So collectively, we can work together for a plan so the students can benefit.
How will you ensure the safety of our students and faculty in regards to active shootings? How have you done this in the past?
So that's a very critical issue now, safety above everything else. Number one is by putting systems in place that it will be, number one, that the schools, every single door closed correctly, okay? When you go to the different main gate and the main doors as well, that they are locked all 24 hours, and that when people will come inside the schools, we're gonna have a system, I don't know, I have seen that you have cameras where you can push that all of them are working, but at the same time, we have to provide, you have to educate children as well, because sometimes children, they put some kind of stoppers, so they will go outside, they will come inside, so we need to make sure that they understand that that is a big no. And by knowing how to talk with them and explain to them, because they know as well, and also parents, educate and work with the whole community as well, that everybody's on guard. If you see someone that is not from the community, or if you see something that is not really right, or it's a little bit suspicious, that you communicate immediately to the principals or anyone that you know in the school or in the district. So that's gonna be very important to have that kind of relationship, open their policies where the principals as well are receiving that kind of professional development, the students, the teachers, and the parents. So all of us, we're going to put a system where everybody is on guard, but making sure that also that whatever is open needs to be closed and is working properly.
How do you plan to improve student behavior?
I think that sometimes the students misbehave, number one, because they are bored. Or we haven't been able to build that relationship with them. So I think it's something that we need to work all together, making sure that the classes that they're going to go are very engaging. This is number one, that the teachers are being supported and are being trained to have engaging lessons, and at the same time, that we provide that, I would say, district culture where the teachers feel appreciated and the students as well, and support that. So I guarantee that when the students and teachers have a positive relationship, that misbehavior decrease. And when you are giving the lesson that are very engaging as well, children are learning, they are engaged in the learning process, they misbehave less as well. They enjoy actually being in the class.
Who are your top 3 heroes and role models?
Okay, I have number one, my mom. She raised 6 children in poverty. Although we did not have money, we were very rich in love and caring. And that's exactly what I want to bring to the table. A leader, there's a loving and caring leader and person. That's his number one. Number 2 is Mother Teresa. I admire her for serving the community. And my number 3 is MLK. This is 3, and I carry a picture of them here in my wallet.
Okay, another similar question. What are the last 3 books you've read?
It is one that is called Isaiah. I just finished that, and this is the prophet. But they were talking about his personality. I just finished that book. The other book that I just finished is a leading a district with explicitity and candor. I just finished that, almost done with that. And the other book that I almost done also, it's also from the Bible. Someone gave me a book. There is Judges, and what I'm looking at, that kind of leadership, effective leadership, and faith. Because honestly, to move to a community that I don't know, I have been the whole life in Texas and then Tegucigalpa, and even weather different. I will need a lot of the support and faith, because I believe in education. And I think that I can do it, so I have been lately making sure that mentally I'm ready for the change. And so what I bring over here is going to be with candor as well, and knowledge.
This is a 2-part question relating to the careers technical education. Can you tell us how you envision career technical education and how Sioux City's Career Academy could be used and prosper?
So I am big on that because myself, I went to a vocational school where I earned my diploma for 12th grade high school diploma, but also I earned HVAC machinist certification. Now that I have been working in HID, I have the opportunity to be working with the different high schools and CTE classes as well. So for me, looking at the children, the necessity that they have, the community, because this is very diverse, but also more than 65% of the children are in fluid reproduced lunch. So we need to bring that opportunity to them. So in case that they are not ready to go to college, at least they have a career knowledge or a pathway where they can go and work and support families in that community. And I'm really strong on that. I'm planning to, I was looking at the career center, and also we need to watch what pathway we're going to be teaching, because it's not just opening and bringing anyone, it's which one will be appropriate for the children. It's gonna be beneficial for the community, and that they can make a living as well. Because we have to see all of that and make a poll and see, okay, these are the careers that probably will be the best for the community, that will fit the needs of the community, and also the work that they can find opportunities around. Because something that I don't want is open a career where they can get a license, but they don't have a job, and they have to go to another city. We have to see what's the need here in Sioux City. So they will stay here. They leave high school, but they stay here and keep working here, living here, so we can increase instead of 85,000 about, probably it will be higher. And this is very important.
Since you were in Houston in 2005, can you talk about ways in which HISD made Southeast Louisiana and New Orleans students welcome post-Katrina? What worked and what didn't work?
Ooh. So in 2005, I was in a middle school. I was in, I think that at that point I was in bilingual education, ESL, in Hartman Middle School, and that was actually very close to the shelters. And we embrace that. We support by making sure that the teachers welcome them, that we not only have classes, but the social emotional part as well. I'm a person that I believe that the two domains are needed for a child to learn. The cognitive domain is how they're going to process the lessons and everything, but also the affective, how we provide that support, that they are willing to learn. So we have some classes for those children that were kind of special. I was in middle school, but I remember that having a lot of children coming to my school, and I was not the principal. I was a bilingual teacher, but I embraced a lot of those coming because they feel that, okay, this is the class that I actually belong to, where children were from different ethnicities.
What are your thoughts on the arts curriculum in schools, including music, both at the K-8 and 9-12 levels?
It's very needed. I think that every single school should have art. Every single school, regardless. As a matter of fact, in the past, education started as an art. And this is where we are. You are artists, teachers, because they transform one life and someone that is very productive. And so for me, it's something that I really would like to see, art and music in every school, not as an elective, but something that the children must have. And I see that as a very important. It's a part of life that they should have, and they should know that is something that if it's very well done, that can be also recreational, but also mentally. Children can actually have that mitigate the emotional part through the art and through the music. I'm trying to be very fast because
You are.
I think that
Yeah,
we don't have
you're doing
it.
great. I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
How do you support English learners from a sheltered classroom that has a certified ESL teacher to a general education classroom where the teacher is not ESL certified?
So myself, I'm going to talk about myself because I am an ESL person, as you can hear. I'm very strong on that and how I support. Number one, of course, is it will be a dream that in every classroom where we have EL students or EB, emerging bilingual, we have a certified teacher. But in the event that we don't have, we can provide training to the teachers so they can be able to provide the support that the students need. Also, something else is having peers. Children learn a lot from other peers as well. So it's going to be an initiative that the whole community, when I say community, is the whole school, principal, assistant principal, teachers, and everybody else. We're going to embrace them. And if we don't have a certified teacher, we're going to have training. We're going to have training. We have that. Because if we want, we can do it. Together, we can do it.
During the past week, how many buildings and classrooms have you been in your current district?
So the last week, I was in a training, professional development. You said exactly that last week, or because I really visit my schools, and so I am a person that I don't want to learn from somebody else. I want to learn myself, making the real deal, and this is by walking the classes, walking the schools, having conversation with the teachers. But sometimes I don't go straight to the main office. I go straight to the classes and hear and see what's going on, because that's what I cannot approach or address something if I don't see it. First source. The first source is by going straight where the things are going on, the classes. So last week I was out for several days, but I was 2 days in classes and in school. So expect that from me. I really work schools.
Okay, what do you feel is the biggest barrier facing the Sioux City Community School District, and how will you address it?
So probably, and I'm not saying that it's a big, but we are growing with the different kind of people. Different. It's not like before. I was looking numbers and the demographics, and I'm looking at how that is changing rapidly. And so are we ready to embrace that? So diversity is something that probably, and like I said at the beginning, Sioux City probably is one of the most diverse here in Iowa. And we need to be prepared because we have children with a lot of needs, not only language. I promise it is not language, but also social, mental health, and economic disadvantage as well. So there are a lot other issues that we need to work all together to make sure that we provide support so that children can be successful.
This is another behavior question that you've addressed, but it's got a little different twist. What is a preventative plan to behavior problems that you would recommend that decreases or serves as an alternative to suspensions that our students are currently experiencing?
Like I said at the beginning, by building that relationship with the children, I think that is the most important part. When the students know that they are learning, that teachers care about them, I promise that they will not misbehave. Because that is important when everybody know that, oh, my teacher cares, and I'm learning, and the teacher is teaching. that is going to decrease. Because several times the students are a little bit acting out because they are bored. Because we are not meeting that. There is no very engaging lessons. So this is something that we're gonna work with faculty and staff to make sure that the teachers are prepared for our children. Different background, all of them, not only one kind, but every single one. So that's going to decrease.
You've addressed ESL, it's another English language learner question. You may want to expand some. What programs do you have in place when you have a student enrolled from a different country that doesn't know any English?
So back in Houston, we have a several. We do have a whole department that is called multilingual, and we have a dual language. We have a shelter in place, shelter education, but bilingual immersion and traditional one as well, where we look at let's say if it's in an elementary school, some classes will come right with the native language. We have someone who is certified, and the other classes part is going to be native. If it's in Spanish, it's going to be Spanish or any other language, and the other ones will be in English. Some other classes. So let's say 70 native language, and the other one, and we keep increasing. That's just one. We have others where it's totally immersion. When you don't have, we call ESL techniques, where teachers, our students, they are immersed in only one language, but we have techniques for them to understand, and the teachers support the children through ESL support. And we have some others that is dual language, where the children are enriched in both languages, English and the other language that they have. In this case, we do have not only, because several times when we said bilingual, everybody said, oh, Spanish. But no, necessarily. We have some communities in Houston where it's Mandarin. We do have that as well, or Arabic as well. So we have all of that. And we have some other are Vietnamese as well. So we can support that through techniques, and it depends. If we have a teacher who is certified, let's say bilingual, then we can have a traditional, because students who manage their first language, it's easier for them to acquire the second one. But if we don't have that, then we will have to put them in another that is ESL, is classes with techniques, English and some techniques so they can acquire the language and that content area as well.
What are your thoughts and beliefs about teaching civil rights within the history framework of school curriculum?
So it is very important that we educate our children about rights. Because everybody, if we don't teach them, then they will know what are their rights. And so it is very important that frame it. It's not that we're going to just say, hey, you have to go and protest for this, and that. No, we're going to educate and help them to see what is right. And so they can learn on their own how to support their own right and fight for their own right as well. So I really like that we teach them.
What are your plans to reduce the achievement gap with students of color?
So, and I would say in general, because at this point, trust me, it's not just people like me or children, of color. I think that by having a strong curriculum and instruction plan, where we know exactly what is the academic gap that they are missing, because the learning loss is all over. It's not just here in Sioux City, it's all over the United States. And so number one is knowing correctly what is needed, whether they are missing through data, and then we can modify the curriculum and instruction, how they're going to learn it, and making sure that teachers also are being trained and that they know the data, that they know their children, and also staff and administration. And so I'm very strong on that, curriculum and instruction, and opportunity for the children as well, so they can start learning.
Do you see the student with a disability as an asset to the classroom or an obligation, and why?
I think as an asset, because that when you have a special education, sometimes we see it as a problem because they cannot learn or something. But that also, I see it as an asset because we provide more support to the teacher so they can support the child, right? So at the end, the teacher get very well prepared, and believe it or not, all children can benefit from having an IEP, not necessarily for compliance, but every single child should have one because everybody has a different ways to learn. And so it's very important that whatever we learn from special education, we can transfer that. Like ESL techniques, everybody should utilize it as well because when you are teaching that a new subject that child doesn't know, so you use techniques to introduce a new concept. The same for special education or ESL or a children of color.
What is your leadership philosophy on health and wellness for staff retention and recruitment?
I mentioned it several times, is by having a very positive culture. It's more important than anything else. I think that when you are in a place that you feel that you are appreciated, that you are being heard, and that you are part of that decision, and that you feel that you belong to the culture and it's positive, I think that that will keep you in the school and will attract others. Because the people who make the big marketing, sometimes it's not an announcement, it's not a tweet, it's us. When you tell others, oh, I love my school, or I love this place. They treat me well, I am part of the community, I have a voice and vote, and I can go and talk, and they listen to me, and I am appreciated. And so that's exactly what I'm trying to do here.
How have you worked to support LGBTQ students in your previous roles, and how will you continue or begin this work to support LGBTQ teachers, staff, and students?
So I'm very inclusive, and I include everybody. I respect everybody. And we have been, also, I have friends from different orientation, background. I respect that. And I'm trying to make sure that they are included as well. Any decision, and if we're going to have, let's say, clubs and everything, and they are, hey, we want to have a club, yes, everybody included. I believe that. I respect. I have several friends with different backgrounds, different orientations, and we are very close. And I think that this is the same thing that we need to bring to the schools, being very, we have to respect everybody's opinion and everybody's orientation and beliefs.
What is your position on offering mental health services in schools?
So I'm big on that, honestly, because the mental health is needed not only for the children, I said for faculty and staff as well. Teachers, we need that as well. So it's emotional support, we need that. And teachers, students, and somehow have how we can collaborate with other entities so we can provide that to parents as well, at large. I think it's needed, and I'm going to support that.
We are one of the most property poor districts in school districts in Iowa. Do you have any ideas or suggestions to help overcome this problem? Property poor districts, we have one of the lowest evaluations.
That's a properties, right? So I was looking at the taxation, how you tax, property tax and everything, and I was looking also at the map, and I know that means resources, but before we can make this attractive so that we can increase, we have to pretty much making sure that the school, because everything is about school, trust me. When other communities and other people that live in other places, they see that we have really good schools for the children, they would like to come over here. When you see a lot of people trying to come over here, the prices will come and start increasing. And that's why it's very important that every community, we do have highly effective schools. So parents or other people want to move to those areas. And when you have people that want to move to those areas, the value really increase. So that's why it's very important to have highly effective schools in every area.
Here's a situation. You've just learned that some district personnel are in non-compliance with IDEA. How would you handle that non-compliance?
So number one is we have to see what is that we are missing. If it's only a document, a report, or that actually we are not providing that support. So there are different ways that we can see at it. So before we give we're gonna go this route, we will have to see what is it. Because sometimes it's just one paper that someone didn't sign it, and we are non-compliance. And we see it that it's non-compliance, and it's a big deal. But what about if it's that we are not giving that support? You have all papers, and everything is signed, and it's this big, but support is not being given to the children. So that is something that we have to work all together and see that what we say that we're gonna do with the child is actually being given, and the support is being provided. And from that, I'm gonna learn, okay, what can that we are not in compliance, so we can work all together to be in compliance.
What are some of the best ways to assess Sioux City's district's special education program?
Something that's very important for me is inclusion. Make it that is everybody. I notice and I know that the last room is special education. I don't know, that's just me thinking. I'm not saying here, but in so many schools or in a different area of the school building, I think it's something that we need to start thinking a little bit more and making sure that special education students are being supported correctly. This is the right part. Correctly. Are they going to be diagnosed correctly on time so we can provide that support and provide that professional development to the teachers as well so they can give that support that the children need.
Another question related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. How will you make diversity, equity, and inclusion a priority when it comes to the curriculum?
So we have to be sure that the textbooks, everything that we are going to utilize for the children, they can see and relate people like them, okay? That we include everybody, especially we're going to adapt a new book for any class that is actually included. Like for example, I'm gonna be very sure that we're going to adapt a lesson, but the lesson is about reading, and everything is about a food that probably I don't even know, like a sushi. Let's say sushi, and everybody sushi and everything. Oh, what I eat is tacos. Okay, and so everybody, hey, Mister, what is sushi? And so that is something that we need to make sure that we are including also cultural background that we see, okay, these are the lessons that are gonna be implemented, and we are taking in consideration all the different ethnicities there represented in the class, so everybody will have something that will relate to.
There are several lawsuits currently facing the Sioux City Community School Board. Are you concerned about stepping into this role when you answer to the board?
Honestly, no. This is the past. It's new days. This is something that I'm not even going to pay attention. That's, like I said, is not my business, honestly. What is ahead of us is a lot of work. We're gonna work together, and I know that's exactly what the board wants as well. Work together.
What have you gained from your mechanical engineering degree that strengthens your role as a school administrator?
They've done their homework on you.
Yeah, planning. I promise that what I learned as an engineer probably is helping me more than anything here. It's not just numbers. It's just not numbers, but planning and making sure that everything works as machine and everybody has a function. And so I'm not going to ask a motor to be, I would say, a gear when it's a motor. A gear is for a gear, motor is a motor. So that saying, that really helped me to understand the different roles for everybody and how they work together to move the whole machine education. So that's just, I learned a lot on that.
You've already expressed your knowledge of the Sioux City Career Academy, but how will you support that career and technical education in our school district?
So I think by doing it, but something that I really planning to do is to have a survey for the students, but also parents, what kind of pathway they would like to see on the Career Academy, because sometimes there are some careers that are very attractive for the children, that is no market. And so you spend a lot of money on that, but they exit, but they go for the minimum wage because there is no other way. There is no other place to work. It's very attractive, it's very nice, they like it, but no market. So this is something that I'm planning to do, is to have a poll and see which one, and also show the children the different wages in the different pathways that we're gonna be giving or providing, so they can see, oh, this is good, this is a good payment, and I like it. I like welding, or I like HVAC, and we can provide that knowledge so they can have a proper job.
What do you believe is the biggest need for talented and gifted students, and how do you plan to meet that need in our district?
I think that moving children from the comfort zone, if they are gifted and talented, I think that before we actually just give a lesson, we have to know also the children, and also how are we going to provide that kind of lesson they're going to make feel that they are learning and growing as well. Because it's very important. So children, they are gifted and talented, and when you give a general lesson, they start feeling very bored because they already, oh no, I already did it. And so we have to move the children out of the comfort zone and probably bring more rigor and incentivize that more and more. But something else, they need to learn on their own as well. What we need to be is only facilitators. So this is something that we need to work on to make sure that we facilitate, that they are looking on their own, that they become very inquisitive. And I said, teacher, I was reading this book, but I saw something else. And then, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to do your research? What are you going to do? Are you going to be doing by books, or are you going to be looking at internet? So we can provide that to the children so they can keep growing.
Our school board is known to argue and insult each other during meetings. When Dr. Earlywine was asked about navigating a difficult board during board meetings, he said, and I quote, "School board meetings should never be a source of entertainment. Please tell us how you handle or would handle difficult situations during board meetings."
So, board meeting is their meetings, it's not my meetings, right? Board meetings. And no, but I think that before we put that and teachers, because I really don't want that the faculty, the community be watching that. I think that will be a good opportunity for us to build that relationship. It is okay to disagree. It's normal, right? It's just normal, but no actually insult each other. I haven't seen it, honestly. So, but I think that what I have seen is that they want the best for the children. What I have seen so far is that, yes, we may disagree, but we're gonna work out these all together as a team of 8. And so that's gonna be really, I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as an opportunity. That if we work together, all 8, and we have that communication, because I will be representing schools, everything is happening, they're gonna be supporting that initiative as well, so we will have to work all together, all 8, and yes, we may disagree inside, but once we come outside, we're gonna come with a solution and everybody with the same focus, students.
These next 2 questions are very similar, so I'll try to combine them. Our school district is known for its diversity. In what way would you work so that all groups and cultures are represented and welcomed in the district, and how do we get parents, no matter their culture, involved in their children's education?
So something that I'm planning to do, and I have been saying, is by engaging everybody, making sure that everybody's inclusive, and decision, everybody's including, building that relationship. If it's with parents, I'm planning to have coffee with the principal. I'm a coffee drinker. And it's going to be in the different pathways as well. And I'm going to invite that parent to come and meet with me and to listen their concern, or just maybe you just want them to come and see what's going on. I'm going to have a parent night out as well, where teachers will be ready for the parents and talk about student education, what's going on, and making sure that our principals are included as well in the decisions that we're going to take, but also teachers. So it's going to cascade from the top to the bottom. Everybody's going to be included. And something that I'm planning to do is that we understand, like I said, everything is changing. I saw Sioux City, and it's a melting pot, different ethnicity, background, and everybody, we will be part of it.
Private school vouchers are now law in Iowa and being considered in Texas. How do you feel this will change both public education in general and your role as a superintendent and community leader?
So that is hard to actually, I learned that today, big time, when, but of course I have been listening what's going on here. So I will be prepared. I know the board approved a proclamation on the 23rd against moving resources from private, because this is what is going to happen is some resources will be probably taken from public education, and that's going to impact public education. So we will have to work together to make sure that we are on the same page, that we are, providing support and to public education. And if we're gonna call for a town hall or anything to see and call our legislators, and we're going to call them, I would ask parents to be ready to support me as well. And we're going to fight that together because that's going to impact schools. We already need more resources. And if we keep taking, it's going to be really deep impact and the children will suffer at the end.
What are your ideas for improving district-wide test scores?
Improving?
Improving.
Okay. I'm really not a big supporter of testing. I'm not. And everybody looking probably. So the only way is when you really teach and you totally forget about testing, that children learn more and the scores start increasing. I believe that. But when you concentrate on just testing, then we are subtracting time for instructional time. And so I really don't want that. I'm not a person that, myself, I don't want to be taking that many tests. Like today had been interviewing with a lot of, and it is tiring, right? It is tiring, it's needed. So I was thinking on my way over here, it's the same testing with the children. And you are taking time for instruction. So I'm big on that. If you just keep teaching, with support, scores will increase.
You have experience from a much larger school district. What are your specific ideas to take Sioux City schools to the next level?
So, of course, we have a lot of systems, support and everything in a large district, more resources, but also I have learned a lot with, I have been with bilingual students, with different opportunities that we have been working all together in urban education. I have been there 23 years, and I have been providing professional development to staff, faculty, principals, growing also building capacity, different levels. I have the teachers that now they are principals. I have some principals, that some of them right now are deputy superintendents as well. So I know how to build capacity. So I know how to look for resources. And also I know how to work with the different ethnicities, background, demographics, and I know how to bring the community together. This is probably one of my biggest strengths, is to get support from the community. Because I'm trying to make sure that everybody's heard, but at the same time, I'm going to ask you, when it's time for you to support the community in the school, you're gonna do it. So I'm gonna include parents and everybody, and I think that that's going to support. I learned that in a large district, and I'm gonna bring that over here as well.
Keeping on the same thing, what was the biggest strength and weaknesses of your current school district, HISD, and does the same apply here?
Sometimes perception. I'm gonna talk about special education. I was looking at accountability for here, and apparently we have some schools that are no meeting the standards, federal standards, because of special education. So that's just a concern. That is not just here. It's also in other districts, my own district as well. Either because compliance, and like I said, sometimes it's just a signature. It's not even that we are not giving the support to the children. So what I have learned that I see it here, that's why it's gonna be easier for me to navigate that right now, special education, because I know that can be a little bit stressful when you look at the data for them. And so we're gonna work on that together.
This is a fairly easy one. Are you ready for Iowa winters? And do you see this as a long-term job?
So if you look at, I don't know how many of you have my resume. Okay. What do you see? I have never moved from the place. I'm very stable. I'm very stable. You can see I have not been from district to district. I am very stable. And so I know it's very cold. And today when I was walking one school, it was blowing. It was really chilly and slippery and everything. So, and I'm walking this way because I'm not used to walk on ice, I'll be honest. I can walk on water, yes. There's a lot of water there. Bottom line, I can't. And so, but the winter is kind of different. Today, I love the snow. I took some pictures. My wife and I, because my wife is here. And so that was really good. And I think that I'm gonna love it. I don't know how much. You know, it's snowing every day, but of course I can get inside and get the heat, so I can. So I'm planning to be, I want to retire from here, actually. I'm looking this as my next home, and I don't know how many years, probably I want to retire, and after that what I want to do, because I really love to teach. I want to go, once I retire, probably I'm gonna be a substitute teacher. Because I love that, I really love. That's my energy, it's my passion. And so if I am selected, then you have Ponce for another 23 years, and you see that? So I'm very stable, and I have talked with my family already as well, say team, because this is more important. My family is my #1 team. If I cannot make them happy, then I cannot make anybody happy. I promise. So that is what we have been planning, and I know that I really love Sioux City. Tomorrow I'm flying back to Houston. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if this is the last time they're going to see, or we're going to keep seeing. But anyway, I really love that community. I feel very welcome. And just, I talk with teachers, love them. I talk with some students as well. And I'm already in love. I'm already in love. I think it's going to be hard for me to take an aeroplane tomorrow. I mean it.
Well, you're going to have to, you don't have to worry about calling off for snow or ice in Houston, just hurricanes.
Yes,
So
and water, yes.
What steps would you take to ensure both teachers and students are valued?
I think that has been over and over. It's just by listening. Just by listening. And making sure that they are part of that decision making. Any decision that we're going to make, they're going to be part of it. Teachers, very special. There is no education without good teachers. Happy teachers, happy children, happy parents, happy community, and happy superintendent as well. It's the bottom line, it's true. So the real things happening is in the classroom. It's not in the office, where it's gonna be my office, no. That's just gonna be the support. I'm gonna be working for the teachers, actually for the students, to make sure that teachers are teaching and the students are learning. This is only two things that we're gonna worry about it, making sure that they are, whatever decision we take, that they are part of it, that I listen to them. And like I said, I'm listening to understand, not listening to answer. It's totally different. But sometimes I just listen to answer, okay, what I'm gonna answer, no. Listen to understand. Where are you coming from? And so this is what I'm planning to do.
How will you initiate a strong working relationship with the district's 4 union groups?
4? I just have 1. No, yeah. So I think the #1 is be honest. So I know trust is earned, it's not given. How you earn that? Through open communication, be honest, transparency, whatever. I don't like surprises. And any decision that is going to be taken, we need to be at the table. So we listen from all the different background, and because if I'm gonna take a decision that's going to impact teachers, they need to be aware of it. They need to be at the table because that's going to impact them. It's not that, no, I'm gonna just take it. No, I'm very inclusive. I believe in have everybody represented and listening to everybody so we can find and hear everybody so we can find common ground.
I'm sorry, but we've gotten closer to you getting on that airplane. This is the last question for tonight.
Yeah.
What do you consider to be your greatest strengths as a superintendent?
So me, I'm a very honest guy. I'm very honest and genuine. What you see right now is exactly what you're gonna see in 2 years, in 3 years. And whatever I preach, I live. It's not I'm gonna just say it. And when I get out, it's somebody else. No. I believe in teamwork and building relationship. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see me working with the community, engaging with the parents, with the students, with the teachers. I want to participate, be part of that. So that's exactly, and I think that this is one of my strengths. Probably not being a speaker, not. I can speak a lot, yes, it's different. Yes, I can be all day here speaking. But what you see is what you're gonna get. I'm very honest, transparent, and I like to communicate. If I'm gonna take a decision, everybody will know, and I will listen from everybody. I'm a student-oriented center. Every decision that I take is for the children. And if you want something that's not going to benefit the student, then we'll have to think twice and go to the table. That if it's for the children, yes, let's go and do it.
That's a great conclusion. We thank you very much.